Well, this particular demo session pertains to either complete MSBI stack, Microsoft Business Intelligence, or to individual modules, integration services, and or analysis services, and or reporting services, or the data quality services, DQS. Yes, either complete MSBI module or the individual MSBI stack components. And this is Sai Phanindra from SQL School, a registered training institute and Microsoft partner. And we are dedicated to offer our services completely on SQL because my exposure is completely on SQL only. And over 11 years of technical experience, completely SQLized. Our training sessions would be completely practical, completely real time, and the agenda of this particular demo session is about the prerequisites. Yes, before we actually plan to step into our MSBI course, the participants are expected to have some basic information, at least some basic information on the SQL querying part. So we'll be understanding the technical prerequisites for this course with examples and followed by a mock test for self-assessment. Now, come on, let's get started. And during the process, we'll be understanding about the course plan, the resume and interview preparation just in case if you are looking for any such type of services. And yes, the course involves real-time projects, mock interviews, weekly mock interviews. And real-time projects may be mandatory for everyone, but mock interviews optional. It's up to you to attend or not depending on your need and the necessity. But real-time project applicable for everyone. And one more thing, the training should be completely into practical environment. So more effort we put in our practice, more we can really gain from this course. I'm pretty sure you would like our services. We need to do that. It's our responsibility. We'll do it. And it's your responsibility, friends, to make sure you plan to practice on time so that we are geared for the next class in a meaningful way. Now, with all this information, come on, let's start with what is BI and why to go for MSBI. Well, assuming we are all very new to this technology, BI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, we call it MSBI, but before that I'm just talking about the BI, the Business Intelligence, just BI. What exactly it means? Well, a data extraction, a data pulling environment, data analysis, data understanding environment, forecast, speculations, accurate speculations, and of course reports, we say dashboards. All this data pulling, data understanding, data speculations, expectations and reporting visualizations can be performed using a set of tools given by the so-called BI, Business Intelligence. Now, what else we can do? Well, we can perform nice, impeccable design operations on databases to store historical data. We call it data warehouses, big data systems, And we can also perform specific databases, specialized databases called analysis databases, mainly for accurate analysis, reporting and mining operations. Now, why to go for MSBI? There are many BIs out there, right? You got Oracle BI, you got SAP BI. Then why to go for MSBI? Anything specific? Anything attractive? Yes, cheaper. Ease of use, similar to any other Microsoft technology. Scalable, highly scalable. You get the design environment, maybe in a client operating system. But the deployment, or say once you make your project live, irrespective of the environment, we can proceed. Further, there are options wherein we can have higher version development and lower version deployment. I mean, deployment is a mechanism, just in case we are very new, deployment is a mechanism of making your project live. And we got nice deployment tools in our BI stack, MSBI stack. Good amount of deployment tools we need to understand in our course. And we see, friends, higher version we can perform deployment, latest versions, latest development tools we can use and still deploy to older versions. From 2016 we can get it back to 2012. It is possible, and we would be understanding in our course. Higher to lower. Polybase, another interesting component, mainly used for the purpose of cross database technology integration. I repeat, mainly for the purpose of cross database technology integration like Oracle, Hadoop, SAP, mainly SAP HANA systems will be making use of BI, or it can be Tableau, ClickView, any other non-SQL based database, any other non-Microsoft component can make use of BI, MSBI services easily with nice extensions and tools. We call that feature as Polybase. What else? End-to-end solutions. We have automated warehousing support. For example, very recently we got one nice third-party tool making rounds in the IT market, Yrs Exp. There is one third-party tool, an automation, data warehouse automation tool called Yrs Exp. So most of the JDs, job descriptions, are now including this particular prerequisite as well, the Yrs Exp prerequisite. Rich reporting, easy design, deployment and security. With this information, friends, let's continue. Well, we understood what exactly BI is at the basic level, and we understood why MSBI, just a overview. Now, let's continue, friends. With all this information, let's understand what exactly we do in our BI course. Let's understand, friends, what exactly we do in our BI course. Well, it's very simple and straight. I'll just change my screen now, something like this. What we do? Data flows. The boxes are the data and the arrow marks are the BI. Simple. I repeat, friends, boxes are the data and the arrow marks are nothing but the BI. And different types of business intelligence implementation. Pink arrow marks reporting. Yes, you can report HTML data, Excel data, or a flat file or DAT file, hexadecimal files, XML files, any database or a cloud data. Yes, in earlier days, we used to wait for the database to arrive to start reporting. But now You can report even the base, the core, raw data as well. Raw data means a unstructured data or a semi-structured data, a non-database data. We can still report it. Next, the data can be coming into my blue box. We call it OLTP, Online Transaction Processing System, the real-time databases. From there, we can generate reports. Or the data can be into a historical database system, data warehouse. From there again we can generate the reports. Or we do have the analysis services, SSAS. From analysis services itself again we can generate reports. SSAS databases are mainly designed for the purpose of analysis, understanding your business units, understanding the business requirements, getting accurate forecasts towards budgeting and planning. Now, this analysis services gets its data from a OLTP system or a data warehouse system, a major source. Mostly it would be data warehouse, but just in case it may be from OLTP or even from non-database sources also. Yes, data can go from anywhere to everywhere. That is what we can do using Msbi. In simple terms, simply put, data can be taken from anywhere to everywhere. My pink box. Reports are a way to visualize any type of data at the source, either structured or not, either database or not. Coming to integration services, another component is mainly used to extract the data, compare, consolidate, compute, derive, and get into something called as a historical database system, a warehouse. We say a data warehouse, like a godown of your database. Yes friends, the blue box can be thought like a showroom and my yellow box is like a godown. The blue box is like the OLTP, online transaction live data, real-time data with good amount of implementation of the normal forms, normalization, perfect relationships, like a showroom, live data, live information, live tracking, live sales, real-time interaction with the customers. Whereas the integration services is mainly for the purpose of designing a specialized database called warehouse, historical data store, old data, historical data, business level inactive information. An example, I have been with a company for more than 4 years. Assume I have never been actually, but say just assume I have been with a company for more than 4 years. Say now 5th year came and our HR managers are forced to trigger an appraisal for me now. It actually got delayed. Naturally it happens. Now I need to get it triggered. Yes, the live information is in the 4th and 5th year. The historical information is for 1st, 2nd and 3rd years. Triggering the appraisal for the final year as on date, the latest year. My HR manager, she has to get the report of the previous year's data also, previous appraisals as well. Promotion versus hike. The ratio has to be justified. Otherwise again another discussion starts. Well, so here we go. In order to get on with the current live appraisal, there should be a consideration to reporting of or a reference to the previous appraisals. You apply for a home loan and you are requested to get the bank statements for the last 3 to 4 years. What we do? We log into our banking portal on our website or mobile, get some Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or some other printer there, and we start printing all the statements. Here we go. Latest transactions, OLTP. Whatever transactions we generate by querying the database through our banking portal, historical data, old data, warehouse. Whereas suddenly a new ATM came just beside my house, just yesterday. What made my bank to open the ATM, the anytime machine for cash withdrawal just beside my apartment? What made my bank suddenly to come with this info, come with this service? Analysis, reporting, need, necessity identification. Yes, business benefits, business planning, where to and where not to, the investment, the budgeting and forecasting the returns or the advantages of that investment. Analysis services, mainly for strategic business users. Strategic means high level or mid level or say above mid level operations towards who always think about the business. Myself being a customer for a bank, I only think about my account. Whereas analysis services, it always talks about the bank business, banking business as a unit. Where to install the ATM? What would be the pros and cons? What would be the correct area to get the new ATM there? I got 4 areas to be chosen and I need to provide the correct report. Yes, the address of the customers, frequency of withdrawals from the customers, frequency of deposits, because nowadays we can even deposit into ATM machines. All these analysis, stock market analysis, another best example friends, stock market analysis, a live cricket match analysis, football match analysis, a live cricket match 48th over completed out of 51 day international match, we see expected reports, say expected run rate, required run rate, current run rate, probability, statistics. There's a talent of analysis services. Yes, we can do wonders in our business if we can use our SSAS in a correct way. It all depends how depth we can actually implement. So there are 3 independent components called reporting services, integration services and analysis services. To help all these 3 together, we got the 4th component called data quality services. Now, with this information, just have a look at the diagram part carefully now. So you got all the data flow from left to right. In fact, from right back to left is also possible. In fact, right back to left is also possible. And now, with all this information friends, let's go on with our actual curriculum now. On my screen now. On my screen. Here we go friends. Yes, database engine is mandatory. Once you install SQL Server, we get database engine automatically installed, right? That database engine would be the base component to continue the journey with remaining BI components. Here we go friends. The database engine, the base component, has got the support for OLTP, real-time database design, constraints, relations and normal forms, schemas, functions, joins and procedures. The base information, that we need to revise if we need to go for the integration services module. Integration services actually depends on the database engine. Integration services actually depends on the database engine component. Here we go, friends. Once you install database engine, we get this integration services. Though I am using 2016 server, though I am using 2016 13.0, 13.0, so 2016 server. Of course, my tool is 2014, my SSMS tool is 2014, but my actual server version is 2016. And you see the integration services catalog, the dependency, you are connected to database engine and you can continue to work on integration services. Next, same way we got reporting services. We got reporting services, joins, join options and procedures. Joins, join options and procedures. Here we go, friends. Coming to joins, yes, mainly for data comparison, comparing or talking to multiple data units, join options mainly for tuning options, say tuning operations, and procedures are the prerequisites, the programming part, bit of programming. I no need to be a pro in programming to go for reporting services, but minimum basic information is required, like how to identify that yes, it is a procedure, and how to know getting into parameters for procedure executions. We require it. What else? Here we go, friends. Integration analysis services, another component, analysis services. Very vast, very interesting. Analysis and reporting operations. And we use functions and joins. Now, with this information, remember, analysis services involves total of 5 different tools and 4 different languages. There are different languages in analysis services like MDX, DMX, DAX, XMLA. To get into those interesting and really flexible, talented languages, we need to have some basic idea about the queries and functions and joins. And all these components have nice dependency on the database engine, and database engine internally contains another BI component called DQS, data quality services, mainly to assess the quality of data for and to and fro integration, to and fro analysis, to and fro reporting. Now what next? Where I ought to be to start the BI? Yes, we can start from any module. By default, all these modules are independent. Previously, we used to have a lot of dependency between each of the component. Now, from 2014 Msbi, the components are very much individual, independent. I was telling earlier, friends, we can start from anywhere. Any type of data can be a source to any component. You no need to wait until the database arrives. No need. That's how the analysis works now. Analysis can be started on Excel. Get the analysis requirements or try to identify the possible bottlenecks. Accordingly go for database design. It depends. Spiral model. Now where we need to be. For the last 30 minutes we're understanding what exactly BI is, a basic level, why MSBI and the flow. Come on, let's start with examples now. Let's start with examples. Let's understand how to proceed. Here we go, friends. I'll just make sure I'll close all other windows and I'll just put this way. I just got some basic tables ready. I got some basic tables ready just to get some idea. Well, come on, let's start. Here we go, friends. I got a database. Create database name. Let's see with some examples. For easy understanding, let's go with few examples. I got my database. Friends, will this work or not? Just answer to yourself. I assume you're already aware of SQL Server. SQL Server, Transact SQL, concepts are required, very much required to start with BI. Yes, we require them. I was telling earlier in the earlier diagram that includes the earlier diagram includes the database engine dependency. We're actually listing the components there. I was actually listing all these design components. So I assume you're aware of SQL Server T-SQL and hence you are going forward for Msbi. Friends, will this work or not? Back. We'll continue with the examples now. Just answer to yourself. ABC file, LDF file. Answer, it works, no problem. Next. Let me connect to the database. I shall be creating a small table. Create table name. I will be using the default file group and create a table ID, name, size. Next. Yes, you got ID, name, size. With this information, by default, I just go by default. Now, just go by default execution context on my screen now. Default execution context. The size is small and medium and I am trying to insert something else, large size. Of course, error. Friends, how many rows would be inserted now? Is it only 2 or 3? Is it only first 2 or the last one also? Anyway, third row, the third guy is giving you error. So what about fourth? Will it execute or not? Third row is giving you error. Will the fourth row gets executed or not? We require this example mainly for extracting the data. We require it. Got the answer? Just answer to yourself. Now on my screen, the success or failure of one insert would not impact the remaining inserts by default. The success or failure of one insert has nothing to do with the remaining inserts by default. So execution continues. Whatever I was typing you now, the step by step, I'll be providing you all this on email. Let's stay tuned carefully. My requirement is if execution fails at a certain point, then how to stop the execution or how to prevent further execution or further continuation of execution. How to prevent it to go further. If there is an error at number 3, let it stop at 3 only. I don't want to continue anymore. How do we do that? Yes, friends. Any idea? Friends, we require all this information to get the actual implementation of our components in our course. Friends, any idea? Just answer to yourself. It's your course now. Set exact abort on. Once you set exact abort on, whenever there is an error, execution stops. So this would not get executed. The last entry is not executed. Let me show you. Here we go. Execution stops. It will not continue. Yes, this is a session level setting. You're aware of the SQL basics. So we know what is a session. A query window. A query window. Next. How to remove data from abort table in such a way, how to remove data or how to remove complete data, how to clean the data, clean the table, such a way the identity is received or reset for next insets. Any idea? It's an identity, right? It's an identity. And I would like to reset it. Well, truncate table name. Yes, once you truncate, identity is reset and data is removed, table is clean, neat, empty. Let's continue, friends. Let's continue again. Set identity insert on. So here I'll say set exact abort, not identity. Say exact abort off. I'm not talking about identity set option here. I'm talking about exact abort off. Now let's insert some data. So by default, what happens whenever exact abort is off? Though there is an error, execution continues. Now, friends, because of this execution continuity, is there any problem? Yes, it's going on now. Execution never stops after error, it continues. So because of this continuity, do you see any possible problem when it comes to real world storage of products? Well, select from table name. This gives you a small problematic data. See there, friends, my output. Hope you got the problem. Yes, the problem is 3 is missing. Yes, friends, that's how identity works. Identity value is auto generated. I repeat, friends, identity value is auto generated whenever insert statement is encountered. I repeat, identity value is auto generated. Identity value is auto generated whenever the insert statement is encountered. Now this is the problem here. This is the actual problem maker. So this involves, I'll just anyway, sorry for the typo here, it's identity. So this involves 4 insert statements. So the last final 4th insert gets 4 ID. 3rd insert gets 3rd ID, but anyway that insert failed. Now what you do? So to prevent possible missing identity values, we need to force the insert statement to be conditional. This is a concept now. Yes, no user likes, no business likes drop in sequence values, right? think practically. If I think practically, I understand no business likes to get this type of missing identity value. It's not a bug or flaw in identity. It works that way. It's designed that way. It's our responsibility to ensure we program it and use it correctly. So how do you do that? Give a guess. Yes, friends. Give a guess now. How to force the insert statement to be conditional? Just give a guess. Answer to yourself. It's your course. Which object we can create? Which object we can create? A procedure. Create procedure. Procedure to validate and insert. Procedure to validate and insert. And I would be taking some name. I would be taking some name and some size. Because you got only two different sizes here. You got only two different sizes, I'll say, and single character. I'll say now size and char. Say size char and name var char. Begin. I would say if size in either M or S or M, then only if size in small or medium, then insert into the product. Yes, friends, what to insert? Values. Which values? Name comma size. That's it. Now my insert is conditional. To prevent the possible missing identity values, we simply ensure the insert statement is conditional. That's it. Else, a small friendly message, say invalid input. Invalid input. So this way, I'll be creating a procedure. Once I create the procedure, come on, let's understand how to execute the procedure now. Yes, I created the procedure. Now let's understand how to execute the procedure. So for this purpose, I'll just come like this. Exec, procedure name, caps small, caps medium, caps large, caps small, and say chains small. Earlier what happened, friends? Missing identity, right? Number 3 goes missing. Now I would insert the procedure carefully multiple times. I'm using the same values again. Just for easy understanding, S, M, L, S, caps, 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 chains. 4 rows, 4 values. Same thing, caps, 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 chains. S, M, L, S. And you see number 3, Mr. 3 is giving you error message. Say an invalid input, it says, invalid input. Come on, verify. Select all from table name. Say select from table name. And now you see, friends, the values. And what I do, so here it is, 5, 6, 7, there is no drop in ID value, right? If we need to understand it more clearly, then I'll simply reset the identity again. Truncate table, table name. Once I reset my identity, then execute the procedure to insert data. Now you see the fresh copy of new identity without any missing values. So how did I address my missing values now? Procedures. Hope you are aware of stored procedures. Make sure, friends, we are aware of the usage part. Where exactly, in which scenarios we have to use them. What's the actual advantage, we need to understand it, friends. Now, let's continue. Let's continue, friends. With this information, the next part. Let's go on with few queries now. Let's go on with few queries. So for this purpose, I'll just go with, for this purpose, I'll just go with a small table. I'll be creating a small table and insert my data. Well, so I'll just bring forward my table. Yes, on my screen, friends, a table. I just create a table and let me insert my identity values. Let me insert my identity values. I'll make it off. Manual identity insert is disabled now. Manual insertion of identity is disabled. Select from table name. See there, friends. Select from table name. You got the table. Now friends, let's see some queries. Let's see some queries. Here we go. Select. I would say here from. Select from product. I'll say here product. Okay. This is my product table. And we know SQL Server is by default case insensitive. Please see if we can revise and understand how to store passwords in SQL Server. That's another important thing. Case sensitive data has to be retrieved if required. Mainly for reporting sessions we'll be using it. Encrypting the data and reporting, data masking. And we have a nice option called DDM, dynamic data masking. So I'll be providing you the checklist of activities in the next few minutes. Please make sure you revise them. For now, it is case insensitive. It is by default case insensitive SQL Server. So let's say here something like class. I have something called a class name. And yes, I have something called class name and color name. Class name from table name. I want to have distinct values. You can make use of, say I want unique values. You can make use of distinct. I'll say here group by. Yes, group by also gives you distinct values. What else? I would like to have unit price. So I'll say sum of unit price as total price from product. And you got the values. My requirement is to have total, grand total also. So we make use of roll up. Please see friends if you can revise group by and roll up operations. And how do you get rid of this null value? I want to have some replacement. We say is null or coalesce. There is something else called coalesce. Either coalesce or is null. For now is null, and I would say here grand total as class name comma sum of unit price, and you get them. Next, with this information, let's continue friends. Yes, we are able to get rid of null value. We are able to replace the null value. Then how about multiple columns? Same concept can be applied for multiple group by columns. For example, there is something called color name in my table. Friends, I'll be mailing you. You'll be able to get this information on email, whatever queries I'm typing for your quick practice before we start the classes. So you got class wise data. I would like to order the data. I would like to have all economic class at one place. and all the regular class at another place. Economy at one place, regular at another place. I mean group by. I wanted to group them together in a particular order. We generally say order by, right? Isn't it? We generally say order by. You can also include roll up or cube. The data is automatically ordered. See there, friends, based on the first column. So roll up can be an alternative for order by, mainly in the scenario where you wanted to go for subtotals and grand totals. Next, my requirement. How to report all business data. Say group data. I'll simply say group data. First, and then subtotals next, and then grand total last, finally. Yes, friends, you got subtotals in between. See there, you got subtotals in between. You don't like to have the subtotals in between. You would like to have the all economy subtotal, all regular subtotal at the end, and then grand total. I want it in a particular order. Friends, give a guess. What should be your mode of query now? I'll just save all this information so that I would be able to mail. Just give a guess. And now, there is something called grouping. Having grouping, we generally make use of the last name equal to 0. Yes, there is something called grouping. Let me show you, friends. Very simple and easier here. When we say grouping, by default, I'll just forget about the having clause for now. When we say grouping, those new rows are taken as 1. See there, friends. Those new rows are taken as 1s. Subtotals and grand totals are 1. And remaining actual group data is taken as 0. So grouping is a property, the function to identify the group data and totals, or say subtotals or aggregation. Simply say the aggregations. Grouping is a mechanism to identify the aggregations. Now, based on this information, I just put this way so that you will be able to practice it easily. So based on this information, I'll just specify the condition now, having grouping equal to 0. Friends, remember again, grouping is a mechanism, grouping is a function that displays zeros, ones. 0 means group data. See there are no more null values here, no subtotals. Same way, you got grouping equal to 1. This gives you subtotals and grand totals. Now you got business data. So this is reports the actual grouped by or group business data, and the other one, number 1, reports the aggregations resulted from roll up, function. Maybe roll up or cube, anything, they works the same way here as far as the grouping value is concerned. Now, friends, how to get them together? My requirement is to get all the group business data first, right? That's my requirement couple of minutes back. My requirement is how to report all group data first, subtotals or aggregations next, and grand aggregation, final aggregations at the final place. How do you do that? Well, we understood now how to get the business data, how to get the roll-up data. There are two different queries. I want to club them into a single one. Friends, how do you do that? Union or union all? Which one is better? Or any? I know your answer is union or union all. But again, out of these two, which one is better? In this context, which one I have to use? Mandatory. Or can I use anything? Can I use union only? Or union all only? Or any of them? Hope your answer matches with my answer now. Union all is the only answer. Why? One thing, friends. If I say union, problem is data not guaranteed. Data not guaranteed. See there? I mean, data order is not guaranteed. But if I say union all, always guaranteed data order, all business values first, then subtotals next, all economy total, all regular total, grand total. Yes, union all always ensures correct ordering of data. That's the main difference between union and union all. Ordering of data. Next. With this information, friends, how do you store this query now? How to store above query? Friends, we are only taking examples required for our BI course. Like the type of examples required for our BI course we are taking now. Friends, how to store the above query for easy end user access? View, you store a view, you store the query in a view. Create view name as view for the query store, say sales report as, and paste it. Now here we go. Once I create my view, a static query, right? You go for a view. Select all from view name. Once I say select from view name, you get the complete information. Select from view name and you get the complete information now. What if this query is involving a condition? What if the query involves a condition? How do you store for dynamic values? Yes, we use functions or procedures to store queries with dynamic conditions. When it comes to dynamic conditions, you go for functions or procedures. Static queries, views are always far better. Always. Next. Apart from this, another small and important concept. Another very small and important concept. The concept pertaining to pivot function. Another example, friends, pivot function. On my screen now. Assume a table, a temporary table or a permanent table, whatever. Assume a table like this. Assume a table like this, the one you see on the screen. Create table, table name, service type, say character data, sales year, integer data, number of loads, integer. Say there are three different tables, there are three different columns in the table, and you insert some data. So you got a table, you insert some data, so these are all the different services and the number of leads in that particular corresponding years, and select out from table name. Our requirement is to report the year wise, subject wise, year wise sales. Subject wise, year-wise sales. What does it mean? Earlier, my data used to be available in normal table format. But now I'll just get my screen refreshed and show you this way. My actual table is on top. I need to get the report in this way. See there, friends? My actual table on top, I need to aggregate the data in this way. Aggregation means here it is sum. 2014 SQL Server 1200. 2015 SQL Server 1900. Then we got 2300 enquiries. Other one 2400 enquiries. Same way SQL DBA 2014 4000 enquiries. So this way you would like to transpose the data from unique column values to unique columns. I need to transpose the data from unique column values to columns itself directly. Now how do you do that? Yes, select from service. We make use of pivot of sum of number of leads well, for you need to specify for what? For sales year of 2014. I'll just put this way for now, as pivot. See there, friends? For sales year in, just say in operative. Sales year in, and provide the respective value. Now here it is. Once you specify this query, say friends, just say as pivot and provide the required output. Now give some value, any value is fine. I'll say for now pivot output. Friends, what's our requirement? Our requirement is to get the values in a particular format now on my screen. Same way, I'll just copy this query and mention here, friends, 2014, say for example 2015, say for example 2016. This way. Yes, any number of year values you can mention. Make sure you got the square brackets there as identifier units. The delimiters for keywords. In case you are planning for analysis or reporting, pivot function is very, very important for us. Next. This way, please see if we can revise join options like merge join, hash join, and loop join. Please see if we can understand like when to use which. See if there is any basic understanding of CTEs, common table expressions. Optional but recommended. And basic understanding of TVP, table valued parameters. Please see if we can get it. We'll be having a separate session to understand the new concepts in 2016 like memory optimized tables, dynamic data masking, temporal tables in our actual classes. We'll be understanding them. Of course, though we are into BI, we need to implement them as well. Example, temporal tables. It will be used in SSIS data warehousing design. Dynamic data masking, we will be using it in reporting services, reports with say 4-digit credit card numbers or hidden bank account numbers or replacing the mobile numbers with digits or star marks. Data masking operations will be taking them. So please see friends, if we can revise these concepts also. And whatever I was mentioning now, I would be emailing you friends. Please see what all you can practice from these basic functionalities. Next, with all this information, back to our actual course curriculum again. With all this information, back to our course curriculum again. Let me just get on with my other screen. Yes friends. The complete course involves 15 classes integration services, 12 classes reporting services, 14 analysis services. And you got the prerequisites. Please kindly ensure friends, you install SQL Server 2016. Just install only SQL Server, it's enough. Tools will take care. The required Msbi tool installations will take care. Server, you please install it carefully. Install the server. Next, from where you install it? We got other website. sqlschool.com/downloads. sqlschool.com/downloads. We got 2016, 2014 and 2012. Please kindly download and install any one of these versions. You may go for a 2016 or 2014. Hope you are aware of installation already. Please install these components. The tools part will take care, the Msbi tools. And we got nice real-time projects now, depending on the level of your requirement and understandings, including the level of your exposure to the IT market so far. For starters, direct project implementation explanation would be applicable. For experienced developers or consultants, you would be opting to do the project yourself if possible. Starters will implement the project and will be providing you the solution for it. Additionally, you may try to implement some other project of your choice. We got e-commerce, banking, asset management, credit card systems, etc. Good amount of projects with us. So either opt to receive the solution straight or you'll try to do it. If you receive the solution, you'll understand it. Or you may try to do it, we get more exposure. Or you may need to opt for both. One you get it, other one you do it. Our service always, our support always. And reporting services, we have the day-wise course plan. Right from installation to Power BI integration will be understanding. The comparison and integration part. Session-wise notes, material, lab work, real-time project included. Same way analysis services. Right from the very base installation will start. Please see if you can install SQL Server. We'll talk about this components installation in the next classes. As and when that particular component gets started, we'll talk about the installations. And continue to understand again the Power BI integration in analysis services also in the banking domain. Integration services again from scratch, from start we'll be understanding until the Yrs Exp information like the third-party tools. Data profiler viewer tool, statistics, package deployment automations will be understanding. A e-commerce project domain, e-commerce project. Now, with all this information, friends, we assure you the complete practical training. So kindly make sure friends, you practice the best. Yes friends, even I need to ensure I am providing you the correct process oriented, carefully planned KT sessions, knowledge transfer sessions, and you are also requested to ensure friends practice on time. Then we can have a nice, happy, fruitful relationship. With this information, either you can opt for the live online training or a classroom, or in case we got these through two schedules, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. If none of these schedules would be matching us, then we can go for a video training, on-demand video training process. And new batches start every 2 weeks. Either of these modules. The one starting from tomorrow, morning India time, March 27th, you may register now, or else you may go for the 29th after 2 days from now, or you may join anytime next month or whatever. Every 2 weeks we'll be starting a new batch. Every 2 weeks 8 a.m. batch starts. Every 2 weeks 8 p.m. also starts. The modules are independent. You can join from any module and continue with other modules and then complete one project for the entire course and one project for each module individually, or you may go for two also, no problem. It all depends how much we are able to, how much we are doing as per our free time available. We mostly see like corporate clients, corporate inquiries. So time is one thing that is always an excuse. So if we can, spend more time, especially during weekends, maybe we can, get more and more from the course. With this, again, we promise you the technical quality of the classes. Kindly ensure you practice and revise all the basic, very, very basic SQL part so that we are good to go. Well, with this, we stop for today. And thank you. Thank you very much, friends. Have a nice time.